in just a second.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let me see here. Let's start. We're recording. Great. So if you are joining us in the Zoom environment right now, good morning and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to be live with Coach Reno in just a few moments. We're going to be tethering over to Facebook momentarily. I hope that everyone's day is off to a good start. I am shocked at how cold it is here in Connecticut this morning, considering how nice it has been previously. So Coach and the team have been outside and they are done for the morning, but we're really excited to have Coach Reno here with us this morning. So those of you who are joining in Zoom right now, you are sort of behind the scenes with us before we go ahead and tether over to Facebook in just a moment. Thank you very much for being here. If you have any questions for Coach this morning, you can put them in the chat or the Q&A. We always invite you to put in the chat where you are watching from. We love to see where everyone is located. And again, thank you for being here. We're going to get started in just a moment with Coach Reno at the Bowl. What a beautiful day to be there. We wish there was a game this Saturday, that's for sure. All right, I am going to go ahead and connect to Facebook. And I'm actually going to be early today, which is not typical for me. So let's do that. Okay, everybody, just hang tight. We are going to get started in one moment. Okay. We are going to be ready to rock in just a second. We are connecting over to our friends on Facebook.
So I can always walk it out.
Okay. All right. We are, I believe, live on the Yale Alumni Facebook page. I'm just going to finish connecting us to our friends who might be watching over on Facebook. And we are going to get started in just 1 second. Okay. So I have to do so many things to connect this. It takes a minute, but I think we should be there in just a moment and we will get started with Coach Reno at the Bowl. Awesome. All right. I can see that we are live on Facebook. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. This is without a doubt, the earliest Yale Alumni Live that I have ever done at 8:30 in the morning with Coach Reno at the Yale Bowl. We are so excited to be here this morning. Thank you all for joining us both in Zoom and on Facebook. And just as a reminder, you can put questions right in the chat in Zoom or send over a Q&A, and you can also post your questions in Facebook for those of you who are watching us there. So as you guys know, this is the kind of the tail end of 2 weeks of celebration of what we are calling the pep rally, celebrating all things Yale football in lieu of what would have been the game this Saturday. Coach and I were talking earlier this week, and we were talking about how beautiful it's been here in New Haven on Saturdays and how we so wish that there had been a game, but not to fear. Coach got a nice bit of cold air this morning out on the field. So we are really excited to be here and get a little bit of a behind the scenes tour of the bowl and have an opportunity to talk with Coach. So with that, I would love to welcome and thank Coach Tony Reno for being here with us this morning. So Coach, tell us where you are and how things have been going this morning, what you guys have been up to.
Thanks, Stephanie. Great to be on with you all, and not in a very non-traditional year, as we all know what we're in. We've been practicing in much more of a walkthrough and drill work with no equipment. Helmets for a portion of it, but no helmets right now, and just really working on skills for our guys. Right now we have all of our freshmen on campus and a few juniors and seniors. So there's 45 players that we have on campus. The rest of our players are all taking the semester off to recapture their year so they can come play next fall for us. But what we've been doing is we're working out in the mornings. Really helps the players' schedules to do that. And we just got finished a workout right around 8:15, and now we get a chance to talk to you all. So there's been some great things going on at Yale during this pandemic, and obviously, like Stephanie mentioned, one of the tough things is that we haven't been playing football on Saturdays, but the positive is we've been doing a great job of keeping our student athletes safe, the safest they can be, so they can play next fall. But I want to show you, I'm upstairs in the Kenny Center, on the third floor, which is called the Champions Room. So many of you that are joining us may have been in here. Some of you that haven't, we want to show you around, and I want to kind of show you some of the things that have been going on at Yale Athletics before we head out into the field. Our director of recruiting, Jake Pelletier, is gonna take the camera, from me. So I'll kind of walk and talk with you, and Jake will transition it over.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach. It's always a challenge trying to figure out the logistics when you got to be 6 feet away from each other. So thank you guys for doing this for us this morning.
This is the Champions Room. Jake's going to show you some of the walls in here, and it really honors the history and tradition of Yale football. This program has been having games for 147 years, as most of you know. Next season will be our 148th season, and some of these pictures, like the one that we're in front of here, celebrates the great history of Yale football. And whether it's a picture of Walter Camp or a Yale Army game, or pictures of our 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Clint Frank and Larry Kelly. This floor we use for recruiting purposes. I know during games, a lot of our alumni come up here. They have a chance to socialize, but this is a big recruiting room for us outside of our game days. As we walk over to the windows here, Jake's going to focus the camera in on our lacrosse stadium. And you can see the entrance to the bowl has really changed. So as you can see, right, we're looking down in the Jensen Plaza, which honors all of the players that have played football at Yale. A gift from the Jensen brothers and the Kenny brothers, this building. But you can see the entrance to the bowl has changed. So now there's construction going on. We're going to give you a better picture of this new building that was through the generosity of Joe Tsai for our soccer and lacrosse teams. But the entrance to the bowl has become a grand entrance, which brings you right to the Jensen Plaza and Kenny Center. We'll walk over here to the left, and you can get a picture, a small picture of this soccer lacrosse building. Jake will try and sneak through here, and you kind of see it through the top over the lacrosse stadium. You can see the construction going on. A massive building that's going to just add to the beauty of the entrance of the bowl, and it's going to be a beautiful thing for all of us, and especially for our soccer and lacrosse programs. So we're going to take a walk. Jake's going to finish showing you some of the pictures in the Champions Room. We're going to take a walk out to the balcony overlooking the stadium.
That entrance sure is something. I haven't seen that, Coach. I mean, none of us have really been out to the bowl, so that looks kind of amazing. When is that projected to be done? Do we know?
The building, from what I've told, the building will be done at some point late spring.
Awesome. So hopefully we'll all be back there in the fall of next year, ready to see it in all its glory. It looks amazing. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to walk up to the bowl here.
So for those of you watching, if you have any questions, feel free to just put those in the chat or the Q&A.
So here we are. So if you look down onto the field, Jake's doing a really nice job with this. You can see the practice setup we have, drill setup we have for our morning practices, which we've been able to do in the fall. And one of the nice things about what we're going to have going forward is we're going to have the ability in the springtime to do much of the same. Obviously, if the public health situation remains in a good state, we'll be able to practice, and we'll have closer to 70 of our players on campus during that time. We're going to take a walk down onto the bowl here.
That really is an incredible view, and I'm sure all of you watching are missing so much being able to go and check out football games on Saturdays, and I know we're all missing the game this weekend, but I hope you're enjoying this. This is really incredible to be able to spend some time with Coach this morning and see this view. The field looks absolutely amazing. And it's a brisk, I don't know, 35 degrees this morning here in New Haven. So we're grateful to Coach to doing this for us.
So I think as Stephanie mentioned, obviously many of you that came back to the game last year, you saw the new field and obviously the new video board we have here, which really just creates a completely different environment for us to play in. We use the field year round now where we couldn't use it before. You can hear the construction in the background as they're still working on the building we just showed you. One of the nicest things about what we've been able to do through the generosity of our alumni and through the direction of our athletic director, Vicki Chun, is created a place for our team to not only practice year round, but use in training facilities like we do now. Helps us in recruiting. It's just been a really unique thing for us to have, and has really enhanced the program in so many ways.
So Coach, hopefully you can hear me. I know you might be like a little bit of distance away from our cameraman right now, but when we spoke with some football players earlier last week, they were telling us that the bowl itself was one of the major reasons why they chose to come to Yale. So do you hear that often from student athletes, that they just are so taken by the bowl that it's a place that they want to be a part of?
We do. I mean, it's one of the biggest draws for Yale football. I mean, obviously it's the largest Division I football stadium in New England. It's the largest stadium in the FCS football, and obviously one of the national historic landmarks, one of the few in college football. So we hear it all the time. Obviously through the generosity of our alumni and through the direction of President Salve, we've had so many upgrades to the facility, from not only the infrastructure but also the seating, and as we mentioned earlier, the playing surface and the video board.
Right. What are some of the other things that student athletes tend to cite as reasons why they want to come and play for Yale?
Well, I think the tradition and history of Yale football is one. They want to be a part of the legacy of the winning, and the legacy of the greatness of what Yale football has been and will continue to be. I think that the balance between the academics and the athletics is also a big draw for them. The residential colleges is a huge draw for our student athletes as well. And I also think that the Yale community. I mean, you're talking about a place where it's a family atmosphere, it's a community-based environment, and we see that all the time with our recruits.
I agree. So will you just tell us really quickly what your favorite part about coaching for the Bulldogs is?
Well, I think it's an honor for me to be part of this great football family and this great football tradition. And I look at it every day. It's my job is to protect the legacy of Yale football and build on that tradition and history. So that to me, that's the most important part, and that's the best part of my job.
I suppose we should let you get out of the wind, because it looked like you were going to get blown over for a second there. Wherever you guys would like to take us next, we'd love to see it. Thank you so much. This is a great view.
We're going to bring it down to the final parts of it, I think. Okay.
As you all can see, they've got the 148 on the field for Team 148. The field just looks absolutely amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I've heard stories for years and years from my father and other big football fans who talked about how the bowl would be soupy and all kinds of interesting conditions. So I can't even imagine what it's like for the players now being able to play on such an unbelievable surface.
So I know I heard Stephanie talking about it earlier. We started numbering the teams back in 2014. Was really the idea of my youngest Vince came up with a one day he started counting the granite in front of the Yale Bowl of how many teams there were, and our captain at the time was Dion Randall, who was an extraordinary leader of our team, was captain of the Yale Bowl, the Yale team that beat Army in 2014 and played on College Game Day. But we started numbering the teams there. That was Team 142, and from that point on, and the reason we did it was because I was looking for something to try and create an opportunity for our players to understand the history and tradition that they were a part of, and the significance they had in that given year, to build on that. And we started doing that, and it really took off. And it's been a huge piece of who we are. And as you can see, our field and maintenance crew puts it on our field every year. So the 148th team of Yale will be on these sidelines hopefully next fall. So
I love that. That looks great. Thank you. Go ahead, Coach.
We're going to walk you through the tunnel. Now, we may lose you for a second. If we do, we'll get back on you. But I think it'll be great for you to see. And Jake's going to focus on some of the walls of how the players come onto the bowl. In 2017, on our championship season of 2017, Under Armour asked if there was something they could do to help enhance the football players' experience the bowl, and they want to do something specifically with the tunnel. And you're going to see what Under Armour did with it. Really put a bunch of graphics up. Our creed, which is a player developed creed, is on the walls in here as well. And we're going to walk you up. So this is how the players come down into the stadium. Jake's going to focus on the right-hand side here.
All right, hang tight, everybody. If we lose them, we'll get them back. As you can imagine, it's kind of a fortress in that tunnel. So we'll see if we can get that feedback. And I know that there are a handful of questions from the audience, and I'll get those over to Coach as well. We kind of anticipated that we might lose them in the hallway, so hopefully they can get back live in a second. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. We'll get them back, don't you worry. And for those of you who are watching and were listening to Coach talk about numbering the teams, they do a really great job highlighting the history of the teams on their Instagram, which you could check out as Yale Football. There's all of our teams are represented on Instagram as long as major athletics. So you can definitely check that out there. They're going to reconnect. Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. We already talked about what would happen if this happened. So you only have me for just another minute. They'll be right back, and we'll hopefully be able to get to see a little bit of the tunnel itself. And here he is. See, we knew this was going to happen, so we prepared. We're good. We pivoted. That's what we do.
We gave it a shot.
That's okay.
It remains mysterious. So we're on the second floor of the Kenny Center in the Cutler Room, and you can see Jake's going to show you here just some of the history and tradition that's on the wall here as we celebrate our Ivy League champions and national champions, All-Americans. As you can see, this is a table that's set up that we use for recruiting. So we use this room really primarily for recruiting. In the season, we use it for our defense at halftime. Right behind me is a few tables set up for training room for guys that need some treatment during practice.
Have you guys had to start using spaces a little bit creatively to maintain distance? It sounds like that's the case.
Yeah, we have. We definitely have. I mean, all of our practices, players are wearing masks. All of our groups are under 10 or under. So that way we keep guys in the same group during the practice. Our workouts in the weight room have been that way as well. So, everything obviously is safe and allow the student athletes to be able to have success in what they're doing, but also maintain a clean and safe environment.
Have you guys had to bring on any additional support staff to be able to separate them in that way?
Our sports performance staff has some additional people, but I think that one of the things that was happening for us this fall was in the de-densification of the university that was already built in. Even more than that, a lot of student athletes decided to take the semester off, which alleviated some numbers. So for us, typically we'd have about 110 players. We had less than half of that this fall.
Oh, wow, 110. And you said you'll have about 80, you hope, in the spring back on campus?
Yeah, 60. I think more like 60 to 70.
Wow. Well, we did, Coach, you talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but we did get a question about it for maybe somebody who had to get their coffee before they logged on with us. The question was, how have you adapted recruiting during the pandemic? What has that been like?
Well, it's been a lot of virtual recruiting. We've been in an NCAA dead period really since the start of the pandemic, meaning that we can't go visit folks, high schools or homes, and they can't come here. So we've done a lot virtually. Yale's got a great setup online for tours and Q&As, and we've used that. We've created some of our own. We really created some of our own videos. We've done a ton of Zoom calls, and our staff has logged endless hours of Zoom calls with recruits and families, and just to be able to present Yale to them. And also for us to get to know them as well, which is part of this process. It's as much of it is we're trying to show Yale off to them. We need to get to know each one of these students and their families to make sure that we're making the right decision. So there's been a lot of time, like the rest of us in this country or in the world rather, a lot of time on Zoom.
Are you seeing a lot of students too, like, different areas have different rules, different leagues are playing or not playing? So are you seeing any students that you were, recruiting or that were seriously considering Yale not playing this year as seniors? And how are they handling that? How are you handling that?
Sure. So when you look at it nationally, about 40, little over 40 states are playing football this fall. So there's a small percentage of states that aren't. Obviously, it's most of the East Coast and most of the West Coast, and pretty much everyone in the middle is playing. So the students that aren't playing, we've done a lot of things just to get them interested, and then we'll get film from them once their season starts.
I can't even imagine being a student right now trying to navigate all of this and figuring out how to make it work. We talked with Jordan Carey last week, who's one of your current players, and talking a little bit about the team. So, and I know you touched on this earlier as well, but how are their spirits? How are they feeling about this year? Are they enjoying their time on campus? Are they feeling a lot of sadness, would you say? How are they reacting, in your opinion?
I think, first and foremost, they're very appreciative of Yale and the Ivy League in general, but Yale in particular, for putting their health first, and not creating an environment or a situation where they're going to be asked to play a sport or do things that might not be in the best interest of their health. And it's very few schools in the world that are doing that. And obviously, we're very fortunate to be part of one that is putting the health and safety of its students before anything else. So they feel very great. They're very grateful for that. And they're also very grateful for the opportunity we've had to practice. So we're looking at this as a redshirt semester. So where all of our players are going to get a chance to get bigger, faster, stronger, understand our scheme better, hopefully have a great semester in the classroom, and then really press the reset button in January as we prepare for the 21 season.
Absolutely. I think we're all looking for that reset button, hoping it comes sooner than later. We do have two other questions that I'd love to share with you.
Sure.
There was a question about the size of the bowl and how many fans it holds. We actually have a gentleman who was a graduate or class of 1968 who joined us yesterday for our cheerleading panel, and we were talking about the transition from all men to the integration of women, and he cheered for the football team, which was kind of awesome. And he was saying that the bowl held 60,000 fans when he was at Yale. How many fans does it hold currently?
I believe it's right around 60,000, maybe slightly over 60,000, 62,000, I believe.
Because we've made some changes along to accommodate the upgrades, right? With the oh my gosh, the scoreboard is the word that I was looking for there, right?
Yeah, so some of the accommodations were made. Originally it was over close to 80,000, I believe, and then when they restructured the bowl and created two walking paths, one at the top of the bowl, one in the middle of the bowl, some of the seats came out, and it's right over 60. I believe it's 62,000 right now.
Awesome. So I think that this may have been announced. So hopefully I'm not saying something I'm not supposed to, but just confirm this for me. There was a question about the November 2021 edition of the game. I think we've heard where that's supposed to be. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. It'll be at Yale. So what we're following is the 2021 schedule. So basically the 2020 season it didn't happen, didn't exist. So we're just moving on to 2021.
So, Coach, I have been, as you know, talking with former players, former cheerleaders, and I've asked everyone the same exact question, which is, can you share a favorite memory of being on the sidelines with us? It could be from the game, but it could be from something else. But would you just share one of your favorite memories of being the coach of this team with us?
Sure. I mean, I think obviously for me, it would be the last two championships we've won in 2017, 2019, just the moments on the field with not only the team, but the students and our alumni and the parents, our administration, just celebrating in that success, which took the involvement of all. It's like we say, it takes a village to have success in football. And, we wouldn't have had those moments without all of those entities. And just to have a moment to celebrate that with them was really special.
We've heard some really interesting stories from the different players, but pretty much everybody's favorite memory was winning a version of the game. So last year was a lot of fun, and we certainly are missing it this year, but I am excited that we're going to be back at Yale hopefully next fall. That'll be so much fun to bring everybody back. This was our, virtual alumni tailgate, but I know that everybody's going to have their grills ready for November of next year if that's what we get to do. So are you going to be showing us anything else, or is our time here with you today over? Because I know you're a busy, busy man.
No, well, I appreciate it. But yes, this was the end of the tour, and I appreciate all of you being on, and look forward to seeing everybody in the bowl next fall.
It's been an absolutely wonderful opportunity to be here with you this morning. I want to thank your colleagues and mine over in athletics, Mike Gambardella in particular, for helping us set this up. I know it's been really hard to be away from campus for everyone, all of our alums who look forward every year to coming back for the game. So hopefully those of you watching have enjoyed this time with Coach and in being in the bowl. We appreciate your support of the pep rally, and we look forward to talking to, as a matter of fact, Coach, I don't know if you know this, but tomorrow we're talking to two alums who were both in the marching band who got married in the bowl on the 50-yard line. And we're going to hear that story tomorrow because I'm pretty sure they just snuck on and did it. So we're excited to share that story, see if maybe any future football players want to repeat that, and we'll stream that live for everybody. So thank you. Thank you to our cameraman. Thank you to our team. Enjoy the rest of your practices, your time together, and we wish you all the best. Can't wait to see you guys back there again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for watching. All right. Anybody who's still here, thank you so much for being here. We hope you have a great day. We hope you enjoyed the tour, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.